Assalamu alaikum and peace. Welcome back. This is Black Muslim in America with your host Bilal Mujahid. Thank you for tuning in once again. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share. If you so happen to do that, that would be greatly appreciated. You know, what I want to talk about today is, you ever watch those movies or TV shows or cartoons when you was a little kid, or even now, and you be watching the bad guy, and at some point the bad guy always tells his plan. You be like, damn, why they always telling they plan? You know, how they was gonna do this or do that, and it would have worked out if it wasn't for you meddling kids or whatever. But the bad guy always tells you what they're going to do, what they plan to do. And, I started reflecting on that. And the reason for that is because this is the sunnah, quote unquote, of Shaitan, of Iblis. This is something that he implemented and has continued to do so. And when I say sunnah, don't take offense or relate this to the Prophet. What I mean is, it's Shaitan's sunnah, his habitual practice. It's his habitual practice to tell you what he's going to do beforehand or at some point before he does it. And we can go to the Quran and see this, When Allah created Adam, who was black, by the way, he told all of his creation and the angels and jinn to bow down to Adam out of respect for such a marvelous creation. Shaitan, in his arrogance, his pride, and disbelief, said, oh, hell nah, I'm not bowing down to this black man. You created me from fire, and you created this black man from clay, from dirt. Fire is better than dirt, therefore I'm better than him. This is the mentality of Iblis, Shaitan talking. He's like, see, Allah, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm actually smarter than you. And A'udhu Billah. Side note, this is what prideful people do today as well. You have those who think they know everything, or they think everybody is dumber than them. So when you actually trying to teach them something or talk about something informative, they want to jump in and bump their gums and tell you what they know. Just like in this situation, Iblis swore up and down he knew better than Allah and wanted to showcase what he knew. So he refused to bow down to Adam. And Allah said, oh, you one of the arrogant, disbelieving ones. I already knew that, though. You know what? Get out of here. You don't belong up here with us. Now, Allah is the most merciful. At that point, Shaitan, all he had to do is be like, you know what, damn, you know what? I done messed up. I apologize, Allah. Here, I will now bow down to Adam. Please pardon me. And Allah would have said, okay, cool, you good. But instead, Shaitan became even more arrogant, and Allah cursed him. And something interesting to note here, when Allah cursed him, Iblis, Shaitan, even though he was a jinn, he was chilling up there with the angels so much and so long that he actually began to resemble them. And my proof of this is in Tafsir Ibn Kathir, on speaking about Shaitan being cursed. And it says that it was reported that Sa'id ibn Jubair said, when Allah cursed Iblis, his image became something different from that of the angels, and he made a sound like a bell. Every bell that rings on this earth until the day of resurrection is a part of that. This was reported by Ibn Abi Hatim. This is like a sign to me that says you are who you hang around. Basically, you become like who you hang around. And this is the part I'm getting to. He responded to Allah after asking for respite until judgment day and being granted. Shaitan responded with this in chapter 15, verse 39. He said, my Lord, because you have put me in error, I will surely make disobedience attractive to them on earth, and I will mislead them all. You see, Shaitan let it be known beforehand, this is what I'm going to do. And he does this same thing throughout the Quran a few times, which means to me that it was a convo back and forth between Iblis and Allah. And on another note, just a tidbit of advice. Also in the Tafsir of Ibn Kathir, he relates another author that Ibn Jabir mentioned about a prophet in the past who asked Shaitan, how did he overpower people? And Shaitan said that I seized them at times of anger and desire. So when you are in these states, just know that the Shaitan is right there trying to influence you. So as I was saying, Shaitan let it be known his evil plan before he began to implement it many times. Let's go through some of them. In chapter 4, verses 118 through 119, Iblis says to Allah after Allah banishes him in verse 118, Shaitan said, and I will take an appointed portion of your slaves. That's the end of that verse. And if you read in the Sunnah, in the Hadith, it talks about how this portion will be that out of 1,000 people, 999 of them will go to the hellfire. But the prophet said that most of those will be from Juj and Majuj, Gog and Magog. And side note again, Juj and Majuj, their race is white. Anyway, in verse 119, Iblis goes on to state that, verily, I will mislead them, and surely I will arouse in them false desires, and certainly I will order them to slit the ears of cattle, and indeed I will order them to change the nature created by Allah, the fair nature created by Allah. That's the end of that verse. The fair nature in changing it refers to is tattooing. This is what's in Tafsir Ibn Kathir. It also refers to plucking eyebrows, and you know how chicks thread their eyebrows as well today and all of that. And just to be honest, nobody cares about eyebrows being arched and threaded except other women. That's just a whisper Shaitan puts amongst them as a petty way to compete with each other and destroy their eyebrows. Because once you start doing it, you got to keep doing it, or your eyebrows, they're going to start growing back looking like damn Velcro. You know how a dude, if he get his wig pushed back at the barber and it mess up his hairline, man, that's how your eyebrows start looking. I remember my cousin had stopped getting her eyebrows arched for like a few weeks. Man, it got bad. But it also refers to other extremes of allegedly beautifying yourself. But in today's time, look at what the people do. As I said in the previous video, you have those who go as far to say, Allah put me in the wrong body, so now I need to change my body to correct the mistake that Allah made. A'udhu billah. This is also a way of changing the fair nature created by Allah, saying I was born this gender, but now I want to become this gender. That's also a way that Shaitan whispers to people. Another verse when Iblis, Shaitan, tells you what he's going to do beforehand is chapter 17, verse 62. Iblis says to Allah, see this one you have honored above me? If you give me respite, keep me alive until the day of resurrection, I will surely seize and mislead his offspring by sending them astray, all but a few. And again in Tafsir Ibn Kathir, Ali ibn Abi Talha reported that Ibn Abbas said in this verse that Shaitan is saying, I am going to dominate his offspring, all but a few. Mujahid said it means I am going to surround them. Isn't that crazy? What does this sound like? This sounds like, we know that Adam, the first human, was black. What does this sound like? This sounds like white supremacy. I'm going to dominate his offspring? And this goes along with my theory that yes, Iblis has a hatred for all of the progeny that proceeded from Adam, but specifically he has a personal vendetta against the black races because they remind him of Adam. They remind him of getting kicked out of the heavens. They remind him of being cursed by Allah. So we see that the one to implement this sunnah of saying the evils that they are going to do beforehand or showcasing them was Iblis himself, was Shaitan himself. And now you understand why the bad guys always give clues or blatantly say and show what they're going to do beforehand. And this goes on in reality as well. Just look back at things. We're going to put on our tinfoil kufi. For example, they love to show, these people of today, they love to show what they're going to do in the media and in entertainment. And you have to have the eyes to peep it, to see it. Sometimes folks catch it. Other times people realize it after the fact and like, dang, they showed us that. They've been letting us know. They put it in your subconscious. This is the sunnah of shaitan, as I said. So many of these secret societies, they do the same thing. They believe that they must show you or tell you, even if in a slick way, they have to openly tell you what they are going to do, because in their minds, this prevents them from karma from coming back to bite them. And since they told you and you didn't say or do anything about it, then they aren't to blame now and can't really be held responsible. It's all on you now. That's in their minds. This is the contract they make with the shayateen. Some call them other names, some call them aliens or whatever. But in order for these jinn, these shayateen, to do things for the humans, some say it's a part of their contract that you have to make evident to the humans of the world what you're going to do, what you're doing, what you plan to do. By however means you want to do it, you got to put it out there, because this is the sunnah of the shaitan, and it has to keep going. This is what he has to do. So they usually show us, like I said, in movies and other media. This is also why they show their symbolisms out in the open over and over and over. This is to show others who are in the know blatantly that they are a part of these orders, these beliefs, these contracts. This is why you constantly see the one-eye symbolism. And we all know the one-eye symbolism. Well, if you're a Muslim, you should know. We all know that one-eye symbolism represents the coming Dajjal, represents the coming Antichrist, who the Prophet told us would only have one working eye. They do the hand in the shirt symbolism. They do the bullhorn symbolism. They do the 666 hand symbolism. And funny enough, the white supremacists have adopted that hand signal as their symbol as well now, which really isn't a surprise. It really isn't a coincidence, because it's a surprising coincidence to some, because in reality, it goes back to my theory, though. That's why it's not surprising to me. It goes back to my theory I mentioned about shaitan, about what I mentioned about, shaitan, white supremacy, and anti-black racism. They're connected. So it's no surprise that they're throwing up this 666 hand symbolism, the same type of symbolism that you see many of these celebrities used to throw up over their eyes, over their one eye. It's all connected to shaitan. And as I've always said, white supremacy is Satanism. But yes, signs and symbols are for the conscious mind. If you can see beyond your physical eyes, then these things will stick out to you. But that's all I wanted to come to y'all with. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I'll try to upload more videos. This has been Bilal Mujahid of Black Muslim in America. Thank you for tuning in. Peace and assalamu alaikum.